Hey y'all, it's Katie. Welcome back to From My Vanity and welcome to another installment in my 3 Looks 1 Palette Plus Review series. And today I'm going to be focusing on the Midas Cosmetics and Smokey Glow Palette. Now this palette has been out, well I should say they launched a little while, beginning of February, but I just recently got it in my hands and I'm sure you guys have seen a ton of looks going around YouTube, but I did want to go ahead and throw my 3 Looks 1 palette out there just to give you guys some ideas if you did get this palette or if you like the color story, to kind of see what you can get out of it, what you can get using this palette. And then also, per usual, at the end of this video, I will be sharing my full review for the Smokey Glow palette. If you missed it, I did do eye swatches of this palette, so I did all of these shadows on my eyes, and that's already up and live. I'll leave it linked up here if you want to go see it. So that was kind of like my first impressions video, and I am finally ready to sit down and share my thoughts with you guys. But per usual, before we get into that, let's just jump into the 3 looks that I picked to show you guys for this 3 Looks 1 Palette tutorial. Alright, first starting up, I'm taking my LORAC Behind the Scenes eyeshadow primer and then my Conceal and Define Concealer from Makeup Revolution, and I'm using those two products as my base. And then starting with the shade Jump Cup, I am blending that into my crease and just building the color up a little bit just to start as my initial transition shade. And if you hear any little noises, Levi is sleeping on me, so he's kind of snoring softly. But anyway, going in next, I initially took Rose and I was going to put that right into my crease and really blend it out. And I thought it'd be a neat transition shade that wasn't too dark so it wouldn't overwhelm the jump cut side. But then somewhere along the way, I think I accidentally picked up the shade, the darker shade there, Amazing, and started putting that in my lids. So at the end of the day, I just had to go ahead and stick more Amazing because I needed my two eyes to match, and I definitely know I actually went into Amazing on my right eye. So yeah, that's how that happened. But anyway, going into Cold Brew, I'm just using that to set my brow bone color and just help the blend between the two shades look a little bit more seamless. And then taking the shade Half Pony, I am packing that into my outer corner as my deepest shade to really deepen up and smoke out the outer corner. And as you can see, this shade took a little bit of packing up, but it did build up nicely and it did blend into the red really nicely with a little bit of work and back and forth. But yeah, overall I like the final look with that brown. Then I'm just going into this MBA. I forget what it is called, but it's basically like a glitter glue, and I'm laying that down first to act as the glitter glue, and then I'm going into the shade Dofa first, and I'm putting that right next to the brown that I used to deepen it up, just to act as like a transition between the really shimmery shade that's going to be light on the center of my lid, and then, you know, the brown outer corner. And as you can see, Dofa is stunning. I really liked this shade. And then I'm going into Group Chat and I'm packing that on. Something to note about Group Chat and then also Leno, that purple shade over there, is it's very flaky and transparent. So as I was putting this on, I kind of wish I had cut the crease and put a concealer base down first, just to make sure no other colors were coming through, because it really is just an iridescent topper shade than a really pigmented shadow. But anyway, I'm just taking my Vamp stamp and putting on my wings, and then I think this is the Kiss magnetic liner that I'm using to line my lash line, and then I'm taking the NYX Faux Black Gel Liner in Oxblood and I am putting that in my waterline. For the lower lash line, I'm taking the shade Rose because I really did want to use this and it kind of got overpowered by the deeper red. But I'm just taking this and blowing it out on my lower lash line and really focusing on just diffusing it out. And then taking Nutty. This shade is hands down, I don't know about hands down. Yes, it's my favorite one, I have to say. I really like Dofa, but this Nutty is something else. So anyway, after mascara, I just put on my highlighter, which I used the Juvia's Place, the Tribe palette, or the Tribe highlighter. I think it's in volume 3 is my shade. And applying that, and then I'm putting on this Physicians Formula liquid lip in Vitamin Beet. It is a stunning liquid lipstick. If you don't like drying liquid lipsticks, you need to check this one out because it was a delight to wear. Very comfortable. But yeah, that's going to be the completed look. Overall, I love how it turned out. And as you can see, I think you can tell how the shade Group Chat is more of an iridescent topper shade than a very pigmented shadow, because you can really see the Dofa shade and even the red in the crease peeking through it. So just something to note. But overall, even with that peeking through, I still love how it turned out, and Dofa and Nutty hands down my favorite. Moving on to look 2, I'm using Gerard's Clean Canvas eye base to prep my eyes for my eye look, and then I'm starting with the shade Content, and I am packing that on my outer corner, really focusing on packing it, and then once I like how it's looking, I am taking it up and into my crease and kind of diffusing it a little bit lighter in there. Not taking it all the way into my inner corner, but just halfway, I would say. This shade built up really nicely and smoothly and was super easy to blend out, as you can see. Taking Colleagues, I am putting that right above the shade I just put down just to help soften, give some dimension, and I'm focusing that on the inner corner as well to kind of connect the whole look. I didn't want it too dark in the inner corner, I wanted a little more brighter, so this shade worked really well for that. Then taking my NYX Glitter Primer, I am putting that all across my lid to prep for the shimmer shades that I'm going to be putting down. Starting with Leno, I am putting it kind of on the center of my lid, and staying away from the inner corner, staying away from the outer corner, just right there on the center and not going up too high, as you can see. This shade takes a good bit of packing on and building on to the lid, and it's still kind of transparent, but overall it's a very beautiful shade that gave me the look I was going for. And then I'm just going into Nutty, and I'm putting that right above pretty much everywhere that I didn't put the shade Leno. I am packing on Nutty. And then just to make sure everything's blending, I'm taking the brush I used for my outer corner and tapping along the shade Leno. And then taking that white shade Basic, I am putting that on my brow bone. This isn't the most pigmented white, but it did the job to clean up my brow bone, which is what I was wanting. And then for the lower lash line, I'm just taking Amazing and buffing that onto my lower lash line. For my gel liner, I am taking this one from It Cosmetics. It's their No Tug, and putting that into my waterline. And then going in with Nutty, I know I should have used other shades, but Nutty is just so beautiful. I did try with the shade Friends, but honestly Friends is just so subdued and very soft of a shade that it just doesn't stand a chance. Nutty is just so stunning, I had to use it. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and put on my wings per usual, and then wing it out or just align my lash line with that Maybelline liquid liner. And then after applying my mascara for this look, I'm going to go on and do my highlighter. I'm using the Mega Beam from LORAC Cosmetics in Celestial. And really taking my time and building that up. And then I'm going to take the Clean Fresh Lip Oil from Covergirl in the shade Grape Soda and putting that on my lips. And that is the second look complete. I really like how this look turned out. It was relatively easy and simple. I didn't use too much to deepen out the outer corner. I really wanted to let the red tones shine, but also emphasize the purple that's in this palette. And overall, like I said, I like how it turned out. Everything was very easy to work with. If there's one con to this palette, I do have to say it is because there are so many reds. There were some times that I really had to make sure I paid attention on which shades I was dipping into, because like in my first look, I could sometimes forget which shade I went into, and because they are relatively similar, maybe not a super big deal to some, but definitely something I wanted to point out because it's something I noticed when using this palette. Alright, for the third and final look, we're sticking to that Gerard Cosmetics eye base and then jumping in to Jump Cut. I am putting this and really packing it on the inner half of my lid, not really going up into my crease more, but just really keeping it to the center of my lid and just diffusing it upward a little bit just so it's not a harsh line. And then I'm going to take Warrior, that really vibrant red, and I'm packing that right next to where I stopped the jump cut and taking that almost all the way out to my outer corner. Then I'm just taking Amazing and I'm really focusing that on the outer half. I just wanted to deepen up the look a little bit, but this is where my camera battery actually died. So while it was charging, I went ahead and put on my wings with the Vamp stamp and then this liquid liner. And then I took my NYX Glitter Goals liner and I put that right on top of my black cat eye. This is in Diamond Dust. And then I put on some mascara. And then I reached for my sleek intense waterline. I think it's called a black or jet black, and I put that on my waterline, and this is when I was able to get my camera working enough, and I went in with Amazing and kept that right against the lash line just to help soften out and diffuse the black I put in my waterline. Levi's making so many noises right now. Anyway, going on with Warrior. He's having good dreams. Going on with Warrior, I'm diffusing that on the rest of my lash line and helping it just to help blend out that Amazing shade and make sure it's not too dark. And then I'm just taking my under eye setting brush and softening up the edges once again. Taking Cold Brew, I'm using that to clean up my brow bone. Not the most pigmented. The white and the cream in this aren't super pigmented, but they get the job done to, kind of clean up a look. And as you can see, I'm taking the white basic to clean up my inner corner because I didn't want to make it too dark with the cream shade. And then you guys know me,
I'm taking Nutty and I'm just packing that onto my inner corner because I cannot help using that on my inner corner every time I do a look with this palette. It's by far my favorite. It's gorgeous, it's stunning. Going into my Juvia's Place The Tribe palette in volume 3, I'm using that as my highlighter. And then I'm taking this Avon liquid lipstick in the shade Devoted and using that as my lipstick to complete the look. And also I am trying these lashes. This is a whole set, the liner, the mascara, and then these lashes. I'll have it linked down below, but I'm testing them out. Still have to determine my thoughts, so stay tuned for my review. But yeah, that is the completed look. I think it's my favorite look that I did using this palette, and I created like 5 or 6 looks. That shade Jump Cut is just so fun and unique, and I love that it's in this palette because it's something different in this palette, so it really is able to help you create different types of looks and not just a red or a purple leaning look. And yeah, I just really liked it, enjoyed it, and as you saw, I liked using it in pretty much all my looks. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the third and final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this voiceover and didn't mind the little baby snores in the background.
Alright, so those are the 3 looks. The last one I know I look a little different, but that is the look from today. The only thing I did different from the tutorial was I threw on lashes, which these are from Salon Perfect. They are the pre-perm lashes in 672, and I need to trim them a little more because this one's popping up, but today's the first time wearing them. A little rough, not the lashes fault, just my fault. And then I put on a different lip product. I have the Healthy Lip from Physicians Formula in the shade Vitamin Beet. Yeah, so that is my tutorial. Let's just go ahead and jump into my thoughts on this. The mattes in here are beautiful. They remind me of the typical quality I can expect from Midas Cosmetics. I think the only one that I had a little trouble with was Half Pony. It just was a little tricky to blend. It wanted to get a little patchy, but overall I felt like I worked with it just fine if I was careful. And the one day I did an all brown look, I had this in my outer corner, this in my crease, and then these 2 on my lid, and that day I was very easy to get the look that I wanted. So I feel like it was just whenever I tried to put this on top of a different shadow is when it could kind of get a little funky, but this kind of packed on the outer corner by itself and then diffused gently, you know, like the edges. I thought it blended beautifully, and I'm so sorry I didn't record that. That day was a little hectic. I was trying to get out the door and I just didn't have time to film it. So yeah, that was the only little thing I wanted to point out with the mattes. And then with the shimmers, I feel like with these shimmers, with the exception of Nutty, it's a little bit different than I was expecting from Midas Cosmetics. And what I mean by that is I feel like a Rant, Group Chat, and Leno are a very, very crumply, very flaky type of formula and kind of sheer, and not something I'm used to seeing from Midas Cosmetics. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's just something to keep in mind if you've tried previous palettes from Midas Cosmetics. Like if you guys watch my eye swatch videos, these were extremely flaky, and when you see the video, like I have so much just flakes all over my face. Now I didn't use a glitter glue, so I was kind of like, okay, well maybe it'll be fine with the glitter glue, but it still flakes a lot. And I noticed, especially with these 3, whenever I wore them, I would get so much fallout on my face throughout the day, even with glitter glue. And it wasn't just like, oh, like I see little specks. It was pretty intense fallout. I could see the glitter, the flakies all over my face. So for me, that was a slight con with these. They're gorgeous, they're beautiful, they're very iridescent, and I like the shift it gives. Like I said, they're more of a sheer color, but they're just so flaky. They weren't my favorite to work with. And then the other shades in here, there were Friends, Hello, and then Instagram Model. These 3, they were very beautiful, but I feel like they were a little bit different, again, than what I remember of Midas's shimmer formula. They're very smooth, they go on a lot more pigmented, and I don't have that fallout issues that I have with those other shades. They're not flaky and whatnot, and they don't fall on my face throughout the day, so I like that about them. But as you can see, they're very subdued and kind of satin. It's just so subdued, and you know, just not, I mean, not that it's not my favorite, it's not my preference. So that was just a couple points I wanted to make. To sum up my thoughts on this palette, I think it's a fantastic palette and very well rounded for it being such a pink and reddish theme palette. Like, these are Hannah's colors, but still she threw in that variety to really take it to the next step and give you versatility when it comes to this palette. Like, you can go into this and get an all red, all pink look, or you can play around with it. You can totally take these shades and just do a totally neutral look, and you would never think it came from this very red pink palette. Or you could focus in on this very fun coral shade and get a lot different look than you would have expected to get if you focused on this with some brown and, oh, I don't know, Nutty on the lid. Like, it would just look so different and fun and pop with different colors than the red, because I feel like the first time I saw this I was kind of like, the only thing I'm going to get is red or pink looks, but there is a lot of versatility in here, which I thought was very smart and creative. But yeah, overall I think Hannah did a fantastic job, and I'm so happy for her that she was able to collab and create this palette with Midas Cosmetics. And yeah, congratulations Hannah, you did a fantastic job. The colors in here are fantastic, and I am not a pink or red girl, like it's just not my vibe, but I can't deny that the looks you get with this are stunning. And when I'm in the vibe to wear pink or red on my eyes, which can be on occasion, this is a palette I can reach for, and I know it's going to be easy to work with, very pigmented. I love when vibrant colors show up pigmented and really don't take a whole lot of work, and I don't have to worry about patchiness, and that is exactly what I find with this palette. So overall, I can't rave about it enough. It's a fantastic palette, and I do highly recommend it if you like the color story. If you are curious to try Midas Cosmetics and you're someone who enjoys and prefers to work with reds and purples, then this is a palette I would totally recommend you grab. There are so many different colors for the price. You can use a 20% coupon. On top of that, there are so many influencers that Midas supports with coupon and affiliate codes. You can go on their website and there's a whole list. I am an affiliate. I always have my link down below, but no pressure to use my affiliate code at all. Like I said, you can go on their website and they list all of their influencers and share their codes there. So I love that they do that because it makes it so easy, and if you're new to the brand or if you're new to all these influencers, it's a great way to discover smaller influencers and easy way for you to find their codes and whatnot. So I love that they do that. So yeah, with the coupon code on top of it, I feel like it's a fantastic palette, well worth the price, and I'm once again very pleased and impressed with Midas Cosmetics as a brand and the palette that they have created. They once again kept to the quality standard that I know to expect when it comes to Midas Cosmetics, and yeah, overall just very, very happy with this palette. I don't know if I'm going to say it during the tutorial, but I did get staining with the reds, especially the like hot pink and red, so something to keep in mind if that annoys you. It doesn't bother me at all, but I do want to mention it. So yeah, that is going to do it for this 3 looks 1 palette plus review of the Smoky Glow palette from Midas Cosmetics. I hope you guys found it helpful and informative. Let me know if you guys at all plan to get this palette, or if you have already picked it up, what do you guys think about it? I'd love to hear down below in the comments, and as always, on your way out, if you want to hit the thumbs up button, that would really help me out. And I so appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch my videos. It means so much to me. So yeah, again, with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye guys.